Women in Music Part 3 by HAIM. It is 51 minutes long, and depending on how you count it,
because you have in the Spotify version, you have 3 bonus tracks at the end. So then you either have 16 or 13 songs long.
Yes. And actually, I'll just kind of go out and say it. This is probably one of my favorite indie albums to come out from this year. I think it's really
100%.
well balanced, really tightly produced, and
this has one of my favorite indie songs I've heard in a long time.
I can't wait to hear what that song is, but I can just say, like, as a top view of the album before we really dig into it, there are a lot of albums, especially a lot of albums, we review on this podcast where maybe it's a decent album and I'm sold the first 3 songs in,
and then after
that, so like meh or whatever. I was only like looking at my phone, wondering what song it was to go like, how long is this hit parade gonna continue?
Yeah.
Like, how long does it continue going? Because there was really no song on here where I was like, this album has overstayed its welcome.
There's no, like, as I went, I'm reviewing it before the bonus tracks, is how I would do it.
Yes, that's how I did too.
And before those 3, like, to the full album, I had the same exact thing where I'm like, there's no song that's out of place. The actual placing of the music itself as well, where, you know, usually a lot of times we'll say, we like this wish it was structured differently. It was structured perfectly where FUBT, the last track, is a perfect ending track for it, just to get ahead of myself. You have stuff in the middle, like 3 a.m., which is hilarious because it's like a little booty call, like most incel thing ever at the beginning. I'm like, that's, oof, that's rough. You have the opening track, Los Angeles, that is, I really, really, really like that as an indie track. That's my favorite song on the album. Because I listened to that before, and when I popped it up as an album, like, this song's just ridiculously good. It's funny with HAIM because they get a lot of shit online, and I don't know why, maybe just incels. People were like, I was seeing like when Pitchfork and Me whatever are releasing like their, so it's like, oh, best new music, whatever. And people are like, oh, they're just 3 average white people. Why is like this music sucks, this and that? I'm like, dude, they're fucking fantastic. Like the other albums, I've like hit and miss. I like their first album, 2013, compared to the last album that came out maybe 3-4 years ago.
Days Are Gone was their first album.
Days Are Gone's really good.
And then Something to Tell You from 2017. Yes.
They didn't tell you I didn't like as much as Days Are Gone, but Woman in Music Part 3 is, this is really good.
Yeah.
And the thing,
just to clear up the name really fast, there's no
part 1 and 2.
Part 2. I guess you consider their first 2 albums Part 1 and Part 2.
Sure,
but
if you wanted to. But
yeah, there's no continuing series.
And also they are 3 sisters, which I always think is really cool.
Yeah, that's rad. But as you were saying about...
anyways, the thing that I brought up this, 2.5 years ago, I was saying that indie is taking over the rock scene and they're the ones who are going to bring it back. Like, that is the traction of it.
Yes.
For sure, this is saying this is where the genre is really cooking. This is where the most experimentation, the best stuff to where this can go mainstream but still be different enough to other indie music itself and be unique in its own end and bring the genre a little bit forward. Another thing I want to bring up is how good female artists are in indie. Holy shit. I think it's almost becoming like trap where the female artists are better than the male artists, because the indie male artists, I think, they're either super overproduced and become into pop, or they're usually really whiny incel-y. There's kind of no in between. The only really good one, I think, is Dive, which is still one of my favorites. But
and then you have a couple good ones, like Tori Moi.
Tori Moi, but I wouldn't... I mean, he's so broad with his range because he's...
But I mean, like, he would still, out of all the other genres, I wouldn't really put him anywhere else but indie, and maybe that's like a something to say about the indie genre itself.
Exactly.
But Muramasa is another example that comes to mind of men who are like pretty decent in indie, but like, yeah, when we're taking about
MXM Tomb, and they have B2B, you have HAIM, like, there's a lot of these female artists that are just pumping out fucking great records after one another, especially this year. This is fantastic.
So you were just talking about Los Angeles, which is a really good opening track. Every song on this album starts like really kind of punchy, and like every song kind of begins and ends with a lot of power, even though not every song is very up-tempo and punchy. Every song really has this really characteristic...
The production of it's fantastic. The drums on Los Angeles itself, too, are amazing.
Yeah.
I love the theme of it where it's like, oh, I go to this city, it's not my home, maybe I want to leave because this and that, and it's... If you know a lot of people who have gone here to become something and it's always failed or it doesn't come to fruition, it's which is 95% of people who do that.
Get off our freeways.
Yeah, please leave the 5 alone. God damn, and the 10. Jesus, get off them. It's cool to hear that where it's like it's its own sad song without being too sad boy.
Yeah, it's sad girly.
It's sad girly. And I love that because that's a lot of the theme of this album. 3 a.m. is hilarious. You have a couple other songs in the middle where they have this little like phone conversation thing back and forth too, where I like the effects of it. It's very, very good.
Yeah, I think what is really characteristic about this album, what really makes it good, is that every single song has a sort of HAIM stamp on it. It feels characteristically them.
Okay.
To that, I mean, like, even in Los Angeles, there's sort of this playful, I don't like to be here, there's a lot of things I'd rather be doing. To 3M, it's like this sort of playful, cynical, but also very, like, biting. Because a lot of it's also a lot of, again, I'm not as plugged into exactly why the music world has certain opinions about HAIM. You can see it from one perspective, it's like, oh, look at all these white women, or you can just look at this perspective as, oh, look at all these women. And there's a lot of different ways to come at it in a different light. I mean, if you're talking about diversity in music and Audioface, kind of just accidentally, we reviewed a ton of women of color artists last week, and this episode's almost all women this week. It just kind of just happens because that's who's releasing music right now. We do, yeah. And that's how we're taking it in as a musical project. But it has this really nice, I guess tone's not the best word to use here, but it has a really nice style and message to it that comes across in all the songs, lyrically and instrumentally.
The vocals, it's very, very good. Quick little thing, which I thought was very interesting, I just found that out this morning, is who do you think took the album cover picture?
I would have no idea. I know it's in Los Angeles somewhere.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Really?
My favorite fucking movie film director.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I guess he knows them or something because he's big into music. He's done stuff with Radiohead and other bands before. He did Tom York's Anima, little film project for Netflix. But he took this picture and some other stuff within the band, for the band, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
So I just found out this morning. I'm like, wait, what? Because I saw his Instagram thing he posted, and I'm like, wait, I didn't know that. So
yeah, "Man from the Magazine" is like one of the more amazing songs on here. Is that your favorite one?
Yes.
Or? Yes.
Los Angeles is a close second, but "Man the Magazine" is fan-fucking-tastic. That's the third to last on the album. That was to me like the crescendo of the album. That was my favorite. Like that was the peak point of where I'm like, God damn, this is really good. And you only have 2 last songs to end it. I'm like, that is the perfect song to have towards the end of the album, and then you have 2 others that go and wrap it up, and it's just
it's a great place to put it, and like it has this crescendo feeling. Like I said, it's a great place to put it in the album, but it has this crescendo feeling. But it's an acoustic song. It's a really quiet acoustic song, but again,
there's so much
it's produced
feeling
very well. There's a lot of feeling in the voice. It kind of builds up near the end, but doesn't like crash or do something overblown. It always just kind of stays in its own. And then like the last word, all the way down to the last lyric, kind of gets back to that HAIM style of it's beautifully produced, crafted, kind of biting commentary on the feeling of like womanhood that they're describing. So it's just really powerful shit.
Exactly. It's good. Very, very, very good. I'm impressed by them a lot.
Yeah. I did, like you said, shout out 3M was super funny and just really good.
Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of little things, quirks in this album that make it very unique. Anyways, so...
The arbitrary scale this week are things that get you banned from Twitch. We are learning that there are a lot of things.
A lot of things that they just added now to get you banned from Twitch. And
a lot of people have been going down. Some of these things have just been regular like content, using music or other copyright material that you don't have. And other things are require the people talking about them to lawyer up. So there's a lot going on in the world of Twitch. But anyways, arbitrary scale, because arbitrary scale, whatever, that's how Audioface rolls. This is a really good album. I'm probably going to put this on the short list for best indie
for sure
albums. This is not a drop. This is an album for sure of the year. So I'm going to give this to the old Mujahideen. That was a
Mujahideen. I was going to say, this is when you accidentally, as a white dude, you get shot up and you say the N-word like 47 times.
This is the heated gamer moment.
Yep, there we go. Thank you.
This is the heated gamer moment.
This is the heated gamer moment where you just say the N-word 47 times and you just sit there and you're like, oops, and then you get banned, and then immediately just channel shuts down.
And then immediately Shane Dawson, after gawking at one of the Smith kids, gets on air and goes, "You gotta remember, think about this guy. Everyone, we've all been there, right? We've had a heated gamer moment before." That's just incredible content. Also, rip Shane Dawson.
God damn.
Ripperoni to Shane Dawson.